Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine this. It's 3 a.m., you're leading the team, and a patient who seems stable is now, well, rapidly deteriorating. And then you realize a critical raised lactate result, a huge red flag for sepsis, was missed an hour ago. Why? Because the handover was fragmented. Nobody specifically owned checking that result, that moment. That's where leadership is tested. And that tense scenario is our entry point for today's deep dive, taking responsibility for team outcomes. This goes way beyond just, doing your own job. It's about active, accountable leadership that coordinates the whole effort. So our mission today is to really get into the core principles, the actions you can take, and the common traps, all rooted in those key professional standards.
And what's so fascinating is how common this problem is, this idea of fragmented ownership. It doesn't matter if you're managing a patient or a complex project. The second a critical task becomes unowned, the risk just skyrockets. So these principles we're talking about, clarity, capacity, coordination, they're absolutely must know. And if you need one central truth to hold on to from today, it's this: own the plan, align goals, assign owners and times, escalate early, and record decisions and learning. That's it. That structure is your safety net.
That's such a powerful summary because it really highlights the active part of leadership. It's not passive. So let's drill down on that. Taking responsibility. It means coordinating people, processes, but also, crucially, accepting accountability for the decisions.
Exactly. For the decisions, for the escalation, the documentation, and really importantly, for the learning that happens afterward.
Because without clear ownership.
Yeah. Well, you get immediate delays. You get duplication of effort. And most critically, you get missed high-risk steps. Just like that lactate results in our opening scenario. When everyone assumes someone else is on it, the patient pays the price. Every single time.
And this is where it gets really interesting for me, the scoring logic. In these high-stakes situations, the system doesn't just reward good intentions. It rewards specific, visible behaviors that show you're managing the risk.
That's right. The scoring matrix, if you will, rewards 3 key actions. First is visible ownership. That means you are visibly coordinating the plan, you're confirming named owners for tasks, setting explicit times, and you stay accountable for the outcome. You're like the conductor of an orchestra.
Okay, so that's number 1, visible ownership.
Second is risk-led escalation. This is all about managing capacity.
Right.
You have to call for senior support promptly when a risk threshold is met. It's not admitting failure. It's demonstrating excellent foresight.
And the third one?
Traceability. You have to document everything. The instructions, the outcomes, the handovers, the learning. It has to be auditable. It has to be safe.
So if we go back to our missed lactate scenario, the first rewarded action would be that visible ownership. So I'm not just saying we need to check the bloods, but saying something like,
okay, I am now responsible for coordinating this patient. Jamie, I need you to get a repeat VBG by 10.15 and report that lactate result directly back to me.
see, that's ownership in action. It's so specific.
And this isn't just an abstract idea. It connects directly to our professional duties. The GMC's Good Medical Practice guidelines are all over this. They expect you to create a fair culture and be crystal clear about responsibility and accountability. Leadership that creates clarity and a clear record will always, always outscore a sort of fragmented effort.
So accountability is the principle. How do we actually put it into practice in a crisis? We need a framework, something that gets us from chaos to clarity fast.
And we have one. The source material gives us a brilliant, high-yield structure. It's a first in, next, last approach built around 5 key actions.
A checklist, basically.
Pretty much, a checklist for success. First, you align the aim and the main risks. Get everyone on the same page. Create that shared mental model. So you'd say, okay, team, the goal for the next hour is stabilization using the sepsis 6 pathway. The biggest risk is the patient going into cardiogenic shock. Everyone knows the mission.
Right. And then comes the part that prevents things from drifting.
The crucial component. Assign named owners and times.
Yep.
If a task doesn't have a name and a deadline, it probably won't get done. So not the nurse needs to monitor output, but Priya, I need you to monitor urine output every 30 minutes and let me know immediately if it drops below 30 milliliters.
Third, you brief the plan using SBIR. We talk about SBIR a lot, but as a refresher for anyone who might not be familiar.
Situation, background, assessment, and recommendation. It's just a brilliant tool for clear, quick updates. It ensures everyone gets the key information without any waffle.
Then number 4, which you mentioned earlier, is about capacity.
Yes. Escalate early to senior or site teams. This is so important. It shows you're managing the whole environment, not just one patient. If you're swamped, you need to get help. It's a sign of strength.
And finally, number 5.
Document decisions, outcomes, and learning. This is your safety net. It's accountability made real. You create a record of who did what and when.
That sequence is excellent. Align, assign, brief, escalate, document. But, under pressure, that's a lot to remember.
It is, which is why the mnemonic they provide is so powerful. It's PAS-CTIT.
PAS-CTIT. Okay, let's break that down.
It's really comprehensive. It covers the emergency and the follow-through. So P is for purpose. What's the aim? A is for actions. What are the specific steps? C is for champions, which just means named owners. And T is for timelines, the deadlines. That first bit, PACT, stabilizes the immediate crisis.
And then the IT part handles the continuity, I'm guessing.
Exactly. I is for information flow. How are updates communicated and recorded? This is where that fragmented handover in our story failed completely.
And the final T.
Traction, the review and the learning. This is just as important as the P for purpose. Without traction, you solve the problem for one patient, but you don't fix the flaw in the system that allowed it to happen.
So if you cover all 6 points of PAS-CTIT, you fully own the outcome.
You really have.
And the framework becomes so much more powerful when you use the right language. The model phrases in the source material are great for this. They just cut through the vagueness. For example, instead of a jumble of orders, you get goals for the next hour, stabilize ABC, Jamie ABG by 10.15, Priya ring CT, and update me by 11.0, all call site now.
It's so clear, isn't it? Every action has a name and a time. There's no ambiguity.
And the language of escalation is just as important. You have to define the trigger point before you hit it.
Precisely. You pre-plan it. If the patient's new WS2 score hits 5 or more, or if that repeat lactate is still above 2, bleep me immediately. If we don't have a high-dependency bed in 30 minutes, I'm escalating to the consultant.
So, if PAS-CTIT is our roadmap to success, what about the landmines? Let's talk about the red flags, the things that signal you have to intervene immediately.
Right. There are 4 critical red flags that mean you stop, you reset, and you take visible ownership. Number 1 is an unowned critical task. Classic scenario. You must assign it immediately.
Number 2.
Fragmented handover. Results are being missed. Communication is poor. The patient is getting worse. You have to stop the line and get clarity. Number 3, capacity exceeded. Your workload is just bigger than your team. That's your trigger to escalate. Now, call for help.
And number 4 is more of a cultural one, isn't it?
It is, and it can be the most damaging. Reluctance to escalate, that fear of, bothering the seniors. It's a massive barrier to safety, and as a leader, you have to break that down.
And that reluctance often leads people straight into the trap answers. The low-scoring options that feel tempting, but, well, they fail the test of accountability. Let's talk about a tough one, trap 2. I'll do everything myself. Now, if a patient is crashing, isn't it just faster and safer for the most senior person to take over everything? Why does that lose marks?
That's a great question because it feels so right in the moment. It feels heroic. But the system punishes it because it creates a massive, unsustainable bottleneck. While you're doing one task, you can't be calling the CT scanner, briefing the consultant, and documenting.
So true leadership is coordinating, not just doing.
Exactly. It's coordination, not absorption. You solve one problem, but you guarantee that 4 others will fail.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. What about the nice answer that fails?
Yeah.
Trap 1, everyone do what you can.
Yes. That one loses marks because it has no ownership and no timelines. It's a collective diffusion of responsibility. It sounds collaborative and fair, but it just leads to unsafe drift. When something goes wrong, the answer to who is responsible for that becomes nobody.
And the cultural traps are just as bad.
They're insidious. Trap 3. Blame the FY1 publicly, the junior trainee. It just destroys psychological safety. Your job is to fix the situation and then focus on learning, not blame.
And finally, the big administrative one, trap 4. Fix it quietly. Don't document.
A huge one. If you do that, traceability is gone, organizational learning is impossible, and you hide risks from the next team taking over. It all comes back to the golden rule. Clear owner plus clear time plus clear escalation plus clear record always beats speed or blame. When you're looking at options, just pick the one that has all 4 of those elements.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener, and your personal accountability? A really common question is about delegation. If I, as the senior, delegate a task to a junior team member, am I still responsible?
The answer is a very clear, unambiguous yes, absolutely. You delegate the task, but you never delegate the overall accountability for the patient's outcome. You retain responsibility for the whole plan. The person doing the task is accountable for the execution, but you're accountable for the result.
So I'm responsible for setting it up correctly and then checking it's been done.
Precisely. The GMC is clear on this. You must set appropriate supervision, confirm the person understands the task and their limits, and then you have to review the outcome. And that requires real specificity. Name the person, the task, the deadline, the escalation trigger, and then critically do a check back. Just to confirm, you'll let me know if X happens, and then you record it.
This brings us back perfectly to that final part of PAC-EIT, traction, the learning loop. Because true accountability doesn't just end when the patient is stable, does it? It ends when you stop the next incident from happening.
That is the definition of professional excellence, and learning has to be a formal process, not just a quick chat in the corridor. It means a brief, blame-free debrief after the event. It means filing an incident record aligned with the PSIRF, that's the Patient Safety Incident Response Framework, and it means defining a practical action.
So an action like, we're adding a specific line to our handover checklist for high-risk blood results, something like that.
Exactly like that. And that action then needs an owner, I will implement this, and a review date, we'll check compliance in 4 weeks. That's what creates real change. That whole documentation trail is your professional safety net. Risks, owners, times, escalation, outcomes, handovers, learning, all of it must be recorded.
This has been an incredibly practical deep dive. Let's finish by giving you the 3 essential key takeaways to internalize from all of this. First, clarity beats activity. Always define owners and times for every critical task. If it isn't assigned, it's just a risk waiting to happen. Second, escalate early to create capacity. Remember, calling for senior help is a demonstration of excellent risk management, not of failure. And third, record the plan, the outcomes, and the learning. You remain accountable for the safe delivery of the entire plan, even the parts you delegate.
And here's a final thought for you to take away. The highest scoring action you can take is never just fixing the immediate problem. It's stabilizing the patient, yes, but then it's documenting that recovery plan with crystal clear ownership, and then immediately connecting that incident to system improvement through something like PSIRF. Because true accountability means owning the prevention of the next incident. So take the PAC-EIT framework, try applying it tomorrow, and see how it transforms the safety and clarity in your own practice.